Okay.
Yep.
So those are the instructions for working tonight. Because we're such a small group, we can ask questions. Just raise a hand, either use the chat function or do it on the screen, and we should be good to go.
Yep.
Okay. Why are we changing the tackle height? Is always a good place to start. So following on from talking with other rugby community stakeholders, the Swedish Rugby Union's Player Welfare Committee have approved a lower maximum tackle height law trial of below the sternum for implementation across the community game. That's not elite rugby. So as we don't really have that level of rugby, which we do have an elite level, but it basically is community level standards. So we will be applying this in 2026. So from now, it's been voted in by the board because it had to go through board approval. The change has been led by World Rugby. They've been doing research on this for a number of years, and there's been a lot of positive outcomes with this, with respect to the reduction of head-to-head contact. So there's been a lot less head-to-head contact in the game. So with respect to that now, let's have a look at what it looks like. So we'll be using today a lot of stuff from the Scottish Rugby Union, and we will be adopting their interpretations of this and their trials of this. We won't be doing the same things. There's a few differences between the English and the Welsh way of doing it. We'll cover that. There's one major difference. The rest is very, very similar. What we're doing now is dropping the tackle height from shoulder height, which is everything below the shoulders legal, and we're dropping it down to sternum. That's the breastbone. As part of the middle of your ribs. That's your now target. So your target belly below the ball, basically. So when people are carrying the ball upright in their hands, you're looking to hit below the ball. Or below the sternum area.
Do you have a picture on there for sternum area?
Yeah, there's some stats there at the bottom of that lovely picture. The risk of concussion is 4.2 times higher when the tackler's head is above the ball carrier's sternum in the tackle. And that's data from World Rugby's research studies. So what does the tackle height look like?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do now is play a video for you. It's only a few minutes long. And I'll let you watch it. Is everyone ready? Some of you, if you're on mobile phones, you might not be able to see this, but I can send you all the links afterwards. Right, could you all see that?
Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah, so you can see there that the tackles don't look very different to what we see these days. There's very little difference until how people tackle. They're still putting their shoulder in, they're still grabbing with arms. The only difference is they're not trying to wrap the ball up anymore, which means maybe a little bit more of an offloading game, which for us as referees will mean we're probably going to have to run a little bit quicker. For players, they're going to have those one-on-one tackles definitely put down and put players onto the ground and get ready for the next person and the next person. So defenses are going to be having some fun in how they run this year. There is a decision-making framework for how we look at them as officials.
It's small.
It is a bit small, so you can't see it right now. I'll run through it now. It's easier to read when you go to the website, and there is a link to this later in this slideshow, and I will share the link to this. It's actually on the Swedish Rugby Union website, all this presentation already, and links to it. So it's all public already. So the tackle height, we're looking first at, is the opponent attempting to tackle the ball carrier or compete for the ball? If they are, If they're not, then we play on. So they're not attempting to tackle the ball carrier or compete for the ball, play on. If they are attempting to make a tackle or compete for the ball, is the opponent competing for the ball with no body or shoulder contact? If they are, they're just grabbing the ball and no contact, play on. If they're not just competing for the ball, we're then looking at as high contact occurred, like anywhere over this sternum height around the chest, just on the edge of the bottom of the chest. If there has been high contact, first question we're going to ask there is there head contact? If there's not high contact, we play on. If there is head contact, we're going through the already existing head contact process, which we don't need to go through in this meeting.
No.
We've already been doing it for years. That's been there for a long time, and we focus on that. And if there's head contact and injuries, we use recognize and remove, as we always have. We don't have an HIA policy. If there's no head contact, contacts between the base of the sternum and the shoulders, so this area up to here, is there any mitigation? And we'll go into mitigation in a short while. We're not going to cover that one. If there is mitigation, then we're going to be playing on. We'll go into what that is later. If there's no mitigation, we go straight to a penalty. Nice and simple. There is a concussion guidance comment at the bottom. If in doubt, sit them out. That's a World Rugby saying. Scottish Rugby Union have adopted it as well. Referees have the authority to order a player to leave the playing field with or without medical advice if they feel it would be inadvisable for the player to continue playing. So if they've taken a knock to the head or been injured in some way, you can ask that player to leave the field because it's not good for them. And they aren't allowed back on at that point. But that, I do believe, is no change to anything we've done in Sweden already.
Can I ask something?
Yep.
Yeah. So a straight penalty is from sternum up to the bottom of the shoulders.
Turn them up to the shoulders. Yeah. So no head contact, no.
Yeah, no,
no
there's no
anything like
contact.
that. We're just looking at penalties at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's any
mitigation,
if there's mitigation for hitting that area, we play on.
okay.
And we'll go through the mitigation things in a short while.
Sure.
Yeah. So we've got another video for you. This one's a little bit longer, and this is going to walk you through the decision-making framework.
Welcome and thank you for.
What have I done now? Sorry, that was me. Here we go. Try again.
Welcome and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Craig McCann, Senior Match Official Development Manager, here to talk through the decision-making framework that referees will use when deciding on sanctions in the new tackle height law trial. Many of you will have seen this graphic. The new maximum tackle height is the bottom of the sternum. Anything above this will be liable to sanction. This is a decision-making framework that will be used. I'll take you through it step by step in the next slides. Can I please emphasise to all involved that this is designed to help frame and explain decisions. Referees in the community game have to make these decisions in a split second and do not have the benefit of replays and a TMO. Some decisions you will agree with and some you will not. A reminder that contact with the head and neck area will fall under the same sanction framework as last season. And most importantly, with player safety in mind, we have our concussion guidance. If in doubt, sit them out. So I'll take you through the framework section by section. First question that a referee will ask is an opponent attempting to tackle the ball carrier or compete for the ball? So if that's not the case, then we'll be playing on. So if there's a collision in the game that it doesn't fall into that category, it's not a tackle situation, then we'll be playing on. If the answer is yes, then the next question is an opponent competing for the ball with no body or shoulder contact? So are they trying to steal the ball with leading with their hands? If that is the case, then we can play on. So players are still entitled to try and steal the ball. If the answer is no, so if there is a traditional tackle or there is body and shoulder contact, then we're into the question, has high contact occurred? If no high contact occurred, then we have a legal tackle situation, so fairly obviously we will play on. If we have high contact, then we have to decide where that contact started. So was the contact between the base of the sternum and shoulder level? And is there any mitigation? If there's no mitigation, then we would be at penalty. Referee would then use game management and context to decide whether they would award advantage or blow the whistle and award a penalty. If there is mitigation, so if the ball carrier has, dropped in height, if they've sidestepped and lowered their body height, then, and there is contact between the base of the sternum and the shoulder level, then we can still play on. So the main reason for that would be is if the ball carrier has lowered, the tackler has done everything they possibly can to make a legal tackle, but there is that contact slightly above the sternum, but we can still play on from that. And I'll show you that in some clips in the next few slides. If high contact has occurred and head contact has occurred, or head and neck contact, then we would referee that as we did last season. If it's direct head contact with force, we'd be looking at red card and then mitigating down for any circumstances that would require it. Just a reminder about the concussion guidance. If in doubt, sit them out. Referees do have the authority to remove a player from the playing area with or without medical advice if they feel it would be inadvisable for the player to continue. So I'll take you through some clips using the framework. These clips will be shown once at full speed, twice in slow motion, and then we can talk through the decision. This clip here, we're looking at the Curry second row making a good tackle on number 9, but we're also looking, and more importantly, looking at the arriving Curry player and the decisions that they make. So in this clip, the second row makes an excellent tackle, so that shows that a tall player can tackle a slightly shorter one, so gets across, makes a good tackle. The arriving player is an opponent competing for the ball in this frame shot. He does have a shot at it. He does go lead with his hands. His feet are always moving backwards. Has high contact occurred? No. We would be playing on from this situation. So the defender makes a good decision, goes with his hands, moves backwards. There's no body or shoulder contact, so we would be playing on in this situation.
Any questions on that one? I'll continue then.
Clip 2. We're looking at actions of the prop making the tackle coming back here.
Jules, can I stop there?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't have my microphone on. Sorry. What if the player wasn't moving backwards? The second, your assistant tackler or whatever, was if he was standing still?
Which one? On the first clip or this one now?
The first clip we're talking about.
We'll just go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So this one here.
See, the guy mentions he was
makes a good
stepping backwards.
This
What
guy
if he was
here.
standing still? Yeah. What if he's standing still?
If he's attacked the ball and competing for the ball, and no high contact occurs, we're at play on. Yeah.
I know. He just mentioned about stepping backwards, so I think.
Yeah, you notice because he realizes he isn't going to win the ball, he steps out instead of attacking and making high contact above the sternum. If he goes forward in this situation and makes high contact above the sternum, we're then between sternum and shoulders, we're at penalty at that point.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if he's stepping backwards, standing still, or moving forward, there's no high contact, we'll still play on.
Yep, absolutely.
Really,
no high contact, play on.
There's really no need to mention about stepping backwards, really, is there?
No, but in this case he does. That's why he pulls out, because he realizes he isn't going to get the ball. Yep. Okay, I'll carry on then.
Decision, goes with his hands, moves backwards. Clip 2. We're looking at actions of the prop making the tackle coming back here.
So this guy here now.
So Curry 9 makes a very good tackle, below sternum. Curry 3 comes from behind and over the top. Is the opponent competing for the ball? No. Has high contact occurred? Yes. So even when tracking back, the tackle height applies. So this tackler would have to go below the sternum height, clearly above sternum height. Has head contact occurred? Yes. Yes, it has. So the referee would have to make a decision whether that was enough to go into the head contact process, and could be looking at a card.
Any questions there?
Self-explanatory.
Good.
Next clip.
This one's a bit jerky to start with.
So we're looking at actions of Sterling 7 in this case, defending number 7. So is the defending player competing for the ball? No, they're going to be looking to make a body contact here. Has high contact occurred? Yes. They have managed to get their head out of the way, so there's no head contact. Is the contact between the base of the sternum and shoulder level? Yes. There's no mitigation. The ball carrier has not lost significant height. The defender has stayed up. So the outcome of that would be a penalty.
Is that clear? Yep, good. I'll carry on.
Clip 4. So we're looking at the actions of green 15. Is an opponent competing for the ball? No, it's a genuine tackle attempt. Has high contact occurred? The contact point is above the sternum. Has head contact occurred? No. Contact between the base of the sternum and the shoulder level is yes, so it is above the new tackle law, but the ball carrier has come down a significant distance. Green 15 has gone backwards with the tackle. We would be playing on from this situation.
Now, this situation's a little bit different to the Wales and England in that they have a law called late and low. I don't know if you use that, Matt.
No, this would just be play on like the Scottish.
Yeah. So in England and with the WIU, they have late and low. So if the ball carrier dips into contact, the ball carrier would be penalised. But we won't be playing that. We'll be playing this. So we will not be playing late and low. So this would just be play on because we won't play as playing on. So we've decided to go with the Scottish model. Okay, just so I'm clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
this
final clip. We're looking at the 3 defenders on the goal line here and their actions. Okay, so is the opponent competing for the ball? No. So they've come off the line here and gone to make the tackle. Has high contact occurred? Yes. There's no head contact. The contact between the base of the sternum and shoulder level. So yes, there's no mitigation. This situation would be penalty. Now we have no doubt that this will be coached differently this year, but around the goal line, this would still be seen as a penalty.
Okay. That's one of the ones that I think we'll get the most questions on from players and coaches. Have we got anything from you guys? Questions around that one? Can go back to the picture of it.
If you go back, that picture,
Exactly.
looking at the when the defense is probably going to say she's dipping into contact.
Yes, they are. And
Is,
this will be the question we'll get on
They're
this.
still standing upright. They're not even
Exactly.
trying to bend the knees.
Exactly. So there's been no attempt by the defenders to drop in height in this situation. If that number 4 had dipped as they do, and all 3 of those tacklers had gone low in a good position to hit them backwards, yeah, that would have been play on. Yeah. But because they're upright on the try line, even though it's on the try line, we will penalise those for high contact. Is that clear? The difference between the two situations? The fact that these players are upright makes the difference between the players dipping slightly, the number 4 dipping slightly. They're still able to tackle her, basically, and stop her and drive her backwards instead of going high.
It'll be clear for us, but will it be clear for the coaches? That is the
That's why
question.
we're doing this presentation.
Where are they?
Yeah, just to show the differences. Okay, are we all good to continue then, or do we need to discuss that anymore? I think Ronnie picked up the main point on it, that the defenders are upright.
Now, we have no doubt that this will be coached differently this year,
Just-
but around the goal line, this would still be seen as a penalty. What's up next? There will be pre-season conferences for referees on the 6th of August and the weekend of the 12th and 13th of August.
I think we can
So
move to
referees
that.
will be receiving the updates about tackle height there. There'll be an e-learning module launched in late July, and Tackle Tuesdays will be starting in August. If you require any information on the tackle height, don't forget to go to the Tackle Height Hub on the Scottish Rugby website. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay. Just shrink that.
Welcome and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Craig McCann, Senior Match Official Development Manager, here to talk through the decision-making framework.
What's that? Why won't it minimize? Escape. There we go. All right, was that fairly clear, those simple situations? The Tackle Tuesday is actually a number of videos that the Scottish Rugby Union have brought out. Links are on the Swedish Rugby Union website. They'll come up later in this presentation. The Tackle Height hub that they've got also is available online. It's all on YouTube. It's very easy to go through. And there's lots of videos on there. So, are we all clear on that? Any questions before we move on? Perfect. I'll jump onwards then. So who's this going to change? Who will this change affect this year? The law change will apply to all levels of male, female, adult and youth community rugby, up to and including the men's and women's Allsvenskan. So basically all rugby in Sweden up to Allsvenskan level will be played with this. If Exiles are playing in the Baltic Cup, I'm not sure if this will apply. I don't think it will. I don't think they will adopt it straight away. And international rugby will not apply to this from under 20s and above. Well, under 20s down should apply, but anything over that won't for international rugby. Ronnie?
Yes. There is a tackle ready course, isn't it, being run in Enköping soon? This is all aligned with this, I hope?
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
There's a tackle ready course being run in Enköping in a couple of...
Yes, there is. And then there'll be one in Gothenburg as well, I think. And this is all in the tackle ready course, which is why I've recommended for coaches who go on the tackle ready course to go and do it now, because this is actually involved in it. I've already spoke to Nicola, who will be delivering the courses, that we should include the tackle height in there. They are included in the documentation on the tackle ready online, and they will be when we present the courses as well.
Awesome.
There we go. That high voice is definitely coming on the video, mate. Well done. It will also include all alternate formats, including 7s and 10s. So when we're playing Division 1, the 10s games, or Division 2 for the men's, if we're playing 10s there, that will apply for that, and our 7s games Although sevens tend to be one-on-one tackles anyway, so they tend to be quite low with offloading involved from there. So there shouldn't be a lot of change in the sevens format. So let's go into a little bit more details of what the research said about reducing tackle heights, because there's lots of statistics on this. So World Rugby endorsed trials conducted in France and South Africa, and they actually showed that they were reducing the number of head-on-head contacts, and as a result, bringing the concussions down. So it's also shown positive outcomes regarding ball in play time and offloading. So a lot more offloading in the tackle, a lot more ball in play time, which means more people getting fitter, healthier, and playing a lot more rugby, which makes it better for spectators. Some of the stats for you. In France, there was a 64% reduction in head-on-head contacts. That's quite dramatic. And a 23% reduction in concussions, which is, again, quite a significant amount when you think about injuries in this area. Research shows by lowering the tackle height, there's a significant reduction in concussions. Basically repeating a bit of the first comment. And what does the research say about the tackle height above the sternum? 74% of all concussions come from the tackle area. 70% of them are at the tackle area related to the tackler. So 74% or 70% of the concussions at the tackle are always the tackler that gets concussed. And a tackle above the sternum is 4.3 times more likely to result in a head injury. So you hit this area above, you're 4 times or over 4 times more likely to get injured in your own head. So we're going to have a look at a few examples. There's a video here to click. I think those are some of the ones that have already been shown, and that's a link to the Tackle Hub. I'm not going to go through them directly now, but anyone with access to this can actually click on that link and go to YouTube and see all the examples of all the different tackles that will and will not be permitted this season. You can do that on your own time. Again, the decision-making framework is here. We can see that, same as before. We've gone through it twice now, once on the video, once I went through it. You could read through it yourself. There is a QR code where you can actually get more information on the Scottish Rugby Union's Tackle Height Hub, which is quite really good. It's got some very short videos for different types of tackles, and you can go through all of them. They're only a few seconds long each one, like 10, 20 seconds each one, to check through them all in the Tackle Height Hub. They're quite informative, and they cover pretty much everything that you're likely to see in a game. And I've got some pictures now. We can just have some more static video ideas of what this tackle height looks like from different angles. I've stolen these from the WRU, so thank you, Wales. I've taken out the dropping height one though, because we won't be playing that. So again, let's get back to the right side. Tackle height, a higher risk zone is that red area you can see in the picture. Tackles in that green zone below, much lower risk. Base of the sternum, target the tummy area and underneath. Tackles that start in the green zone and finish in the red zone might still be liable to penalty or sanctions of some form. There's actually a WRU GameLocker.Wales, which also covers the new laws as well. If you want to look at the WRU one, if you want to speak in Welsh and do it, that's fine by me. So from the front, this is what we're looking at picture-wise. We're looking at players going in low, under the ball, tackling players, arms out wide, and starting in that green zone and staying there. And looking at it from rear tackles, we're looking at the same thing. We're looking at shoulders below the sternum area. You can see here it's below the hips or around the hips area. Arms are below the sternum, around the belly area. And the red zone is avoided. Excuse me a second, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, second tacklers and arriving players. A second tackler is allowed below the sternum. Okay, so we have to be clear that you are allowed to tackle 2 players. And arriving players can attempt to compete or rip for the ball. We're actually encouraging people. You are allowed to attack the ball and rip the ball as long as there is no high contact. So you're looking at ripping the ball, not hitting the player. So us as match officials need to look at that area. And if we think it's safe and they've gone for the ball only, we can then play on because there's no high contact. Again, green areas in this picture, they're the safe zones. That's what we're looking at. Red zone, liable to sanction. So there's an example picture of what we're looking for in a 2-person tackle. And then side tackles, usually against people running up the wings, a lot of these in 7s especially. Again, you can see here, you can see that line across where the sternum is. You can see the young lady's arms are below that mark. They're looking at hitting with shoulder and wrapping arms around in a low position. So that's a good picture we're looking for then. Any initial contact from the base of the sternum to the shoulders may be penalized. And then any initial contact above the line of the shoulders, head contact process as always. And we're looking then at yellow, red cards, or mitigated down if it's low impact or low injury risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my last slide. Are there any questions?
Nope.
Nope. I didn't expect too many from this group because you're all, yeah, I'm pretty sure you've either used it before or read it before or read it before in some aspect. But if you can think of anything and you do have any questions in the future, feel free to ask. We're available on email, WhatsApp, Facebook, our contact details. We've got the SRDF website. I'm gonna pop that up a second. I'm just gonna share one thing now. So I'm gonna show you the Swedish Rugby Union website, which is here. At the top, we now have a player welfare session where there's player welfare information, and under Utveckling we actually have a Swedish Rugby Union Tackle Height Education Hub, which we click on there. And a lot of the information from this slideshow and links, you can link that to the presentation from that site under Utveckling, and then this site. You can download the presentation we've just done. You can run it there. It'll actually run the presentation if you click on that link. There's a link to the Tackle Height Hub for the Scottish Rugby Union. The framework is there, much bigger, so you can read it, Mike. Yeah. There's a link to the YouTube Tackle Tuesday videos. These are superb. These are fantastic resources to look at. So you can play the first one from here. You can actually go to the menu. There's a list of all the videos, and you can go through them all. And that's one of our main resources. We can also have a look at the referee web page. I believe I've opened, where have I got that open now? There we go. And I do believe I've put under education, we've got the presentation there as well, if you want to look at that. So you can actually link to the tackle presentation we've just done from the referee website as well.
Okay.
And the head contact process, if you need it, is there as well. You can see it there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
Any questions to finish up? In that case, I will stop recording and say thank you very much for coming along. hoped it would have been a few more people, but maybe next time. I'm going to stop the recording.
Good.